Okay, let's see.
Perfect. Okay, go
Okay,
for it.
so I'm Jenny Nowak. I'm a speech pathologist of 33 years, behavior analyst of 17, and I have been supervising for 12 years. Okay, I'm going to share with you my four key core, perhaps, philosophies of ABA. So, number one is I'm going to teach you how to ABA everything, because ABA is a science, not just an autism intervention. And any human being that can benefit from science should benefit from our strategies and our techniques to do things better, faster, easier. Um, so we'll ABA everything. Number two, in order to get that done, I'm going to teach you how to ABA yourself. Cooper, what am I? Second. So Cooper, third edition, talks about self-management. Task
Mhm.
List 5 talks about self-management. Somehow in test content outline 6, they decided that was not to be tested on, but it is still in our science. So I'm going to teach you how to do self as client. And you're going to look at the things that you do every day, regular basis, doing them well, wish you could do them better, and you're going to come up with a behavioral definition, a behavioral goal. You're going to start taking data. You're going to do the task analysis. You're going to then create a program. And what's going to happen is this thing that is your how to do laundry program, how to pay your bills on time program, how to stay organized at university program. You're going to go, oh, this is ABA. And I'm going to go, yeah. And now those other two behavior technician trainees who you're going to send my way, you're going to go tell them this also. And your brains are going to go, wow, yes, our science is amazing. I have
Mhm.
ABA'd my husband, my daughter, my business. This is business. This is business number 3, but I'm also working on business number 4. ABA, all of those things. My house runs as a well-oiled machine because there are task analyses for everything. We put with same, all the stuff, lots of reinforcement happens over here. Now you can't count any family member related to you or soon to be related to you people for hours, but you can count the systems that you run in your house.
Okay.
Okay, so I will teach you
Okay.
how to ABA everything so that when you walk into a home and you're trying to talk to mom about the data that she's taken on Johnny, and she's like, this is week number 4, and she has no data for you. And you say, Mom, how do I help you? And she starts crying and says, look at my kitchen. I can't even feed my kids regular food on a, healthy food on a regular basis because there's too much. And you go, oh, mama, let me tell you, I had a season in my life where I had to make my meal organization better, which is
Mhm.
going to make you do that. Right. And I narrowed it down to 5 things that if I can check off these 5 things on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then it makes all the rest of the days go so much better. How about next week, instead of talking about Johnny's data, I bring that and show you, and
Right.
let's talk about supporting you for a minute. Would that help? And she goes, yes, right, exactly. And so now our story becomes their help. Okay. The third thing, my third core, is that you guys as trainees need to learn to be the consultant. And this is why, if you can't tell, it burns me to the core of who I am that we take folks and put them back into entry level positions as behavior technicians, and we burn them out in the 2 years it takes them to get their hours, because that is one of the hardest jobs I have ever done. Okay. Now it's not an answer, it's just an observation. Um, my job as the behavior consultant is maybe 5% restricted hours. That's why the board changed it. It used to be different percentages and maybe even no percentage when I started. I don't remember having a direct, indirect, restricted, unrestricted
Okay.
number when I went through this, but that was many years ago. So there's a lot I don't remember from 12 years ago. And so the reason they made it 60/40 is because they want your time to be spent learning how to be a consultant. And so
Gotcha.
I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to teach you how to assess everything that you do. What's working, what's not working. And you walk over to that side of the room. What's working? What's not working? Ah, okay. I come over here. Laundry. What's working? What's not working? Groceries. What's working? What's not working? All of that is assessment. Because when you walk into a client's home, or you walk into a clinic, or you walk into a teacher's classroom, that better be where you're starting. We call it observation, but it's really an assessment. Wow, those kids
Mhm.
are crazy out of their chair. That kid's asleep. This kid is chewing his pencil. This kid, and who am I supposed to be looking at? Oh, that one who's sitting quietly. Okay, but why? Right? So you're assessing what's working,
Mhm.
what's not working. So much assessment before we ever get to anything formal. And then once we do the formal and we train our people, whoever they are, when we come back in to see if it's working, more assessment. Okay, so I'm going to teach you, regardless of your job, how to assess everything that you do. Once you assess it and you figure out what's working and not working and why, then you program design. How do I fix it? How do I make it better, faster, easier? Because that's what ABA does. And so I'll teach you all about program design as the consultant, regardless of what your job is. Now we'll talk about, if you stay a behavior technician, how you stay ethical, because radical behaviorism and private events says you can think about all this stuff, but ethics and the law says you cannot do it without your behavior analyst permission. Okay, so we'll talk about that. All right, so ABA everything. Treat yourself as the client and know how to ABA yourself. Be the consultant regardless of your job. Assess, program design, and train. We got to be able to teach ABA style. And then number 4, you guys must learn how to audit proof your own hours. I used to lose sleep because I was not tech savvy. I hated Google. I didn't know how to make my Apple phone talk to my Google Drive. And I'm like, this is a disaster. I was paper and pencil everything. And several of my trainees were very kind and got me up to speed. And now my phone talks to my Mac, talks to my this, talks to my website, talks to my everything. And it's probably taken 7 years if I think about it, but it's okay. Now I don't lose sleep over you guys wondering, gee, did we sign the right paper? Are you saving the right form? Do we have the right headers on everything? Because I know that
Mhm.
they're there. And that's one of the reasons why I went from even Google Drive to this web portal, was because it streamlines how you guys get trained to fill out all of Jenny's insane trackers. Okay. Um, so those are my 4 key principles. I am big on audit proofing. The worst thing that I have seen happen, and I have seen it happen, whether it's on a monthly basis, a quarterly basis, when you leave a job, or when you apply for your to sit for your exam, and somebody says, "Well, where's your paperwork?" And you're experiencing that right now, unfortunately. Where's your paperwork?
Mhm.
Every month,
Mhm.
every meeting, you must have a paper note, right? You must have a physical note with 15 different things written down on it. And if you don't have that from every single meeting that you have with your supervisor, then it's not going to count as a contact or as an observation. And if the board flags you, right, at the end of all of this, this is crazy. You turn in one sheet of paper from Jenny,
Mhm.
one, that's it. And if it's beautiful, they go boom, and they pass it on through and say, sit for your exam. Now,
Gotcha.
if it's not beautiful, then they say, give me more, give me more, give me
Mhm.
more. And that's when it all starts to crumble. And that's what I don't want to worry about, because they do random selections, right? Certain
Okay.
number of applications have to be audited. I don't know that number. I don't want to know that number. It might scare me if I knew that number. Never been audited, but I have worked with folks, supervisors, who have been audited and failed. So now they've had an ethical violation and have to go through mentorship for 3 months or whatever. So I've been the mentor to help people who got that random draw somehow, and now are trying to fix things.